This is D Hunter, bringing another action video review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Green Lantern Guy Gardner. It's been a long time coming. This has been the biggest omission from the Green Lantern Corps. Guy Gardner. In all of his arrogant campiness. I printed this from the McFarlane toy store. It arrived today. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. DC Multiverse, Guy Gardner, McFarlane Collector's Edition. Here he is in the package. We have 3 different faces, 2 different hair pieces, a total of 6 hands, his lantern battery, collector's card, and display stand. Quite a bit of accessories. At the back, here's Guy Gardner, a little more recent version. He doesn't have the bowl cut at this point. At the bottom, there's his barcode, if that helps anybody. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did get the entire wave from the McFarlane toy store. I took advantage of the bundle discount, my Platinum membership discount, the coupon code, and got these for a very fair price. They actually overpriced the bundle, and it sold out very quickly at McFarlane, even with the pricing issue. I emailed them, and they gave me a partial refund. After shipping and taxes, I paid $72 for these 3 figures, a significant savings over retail, which would be about $110. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. We have a display stand, a collector's card, 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, 3 different faces, 2 different hair pieces, and his lantern battery. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is the Guy Gardner Green Lantern. He's the most notable omission to the Green Lantern Corps so far. He was the backup for Hal Jordan in the Earth system. His main sort of character traits are, he has that really ugly bowl cut, although right now he has the more modern haircut on. He's an asshole, he's arrogant, he treats women like shit, very cocky, but he's a pretty good Green Lantern as well. So let's take a closer look. Start with his face here. This is a little more modern version. Here's a serious face, the hair sort of flipped up a little bit at the top. Now it's supposed to be sort of shaved on the side, but it looks kind of bad. That line between the face and the hair just looks hideous. Beyond that, it's not bad. But the fact that the hair is almost more orange, or it's shaved, and that's where it would be less orange than the top, throws me off just a little bit as well. He has that signature sort of, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a leather jacket. It's got the collar popped up, but it's this Green Lantern. He always had a different outfit than most of the rest of the Green Lantern members. Very sort of unique look. This is more so his modern costume, but it's close enough to his sort of classic traditional costume. You could pretend it's that way if you put the bowl cut on him. He's got double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. I do not recognize any reuse in the body. I mean, imagine the legs, arms, possibly with the torso. Definitely new, although it's kind of a soft goods overlay on top of something underneath. It looks a little bit big, puffy, and bulky. I don't really know how else they could pull that off. Still, it looks good as a modern Guy Gardner, and if you really wanted to, you could also use it as a classic Guy Gardner. But it's definitely intended to be the modern version. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. This is missing his signature, really ugly, hideous bowl cut. And it sort of makes sense to sort of evolve from that over the years, but it's always been his signature look, this really dumb haircut and arrogant sort of attitude. And a closer look at the power ring on his middle finger on his right hand. It's actually sculpted on, not just painted, so nice job there. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane display stand we've seen countless times before. The only difference is this one has a silver DC at the bottom because it came with the collector's edition. And then we have his collector's card. As you can see, this is a more modern version of Guy Gardner. He's got the spiked up hair. Collector's edition. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now let's check out his hands. He has 6 of them. 3 left hands and 3 right hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers. And here's his final set of hands. His right hand is a pointing hand with the index finger. And his left hand is totally open. It's probably for grabbing Power Girl's ass. Typical Guy Gardner type move. Piss off the rest of the entire team. Now for his faces and hair pieces. He has two hair pieces, one a more modern version, and one Guy Gardner's signature bowl cut. And then he has three faces, one with a normal expression, one with sort of a half smile, and one with a screaming expression. Here he is with the regular expression face and the modern haircut. And then here's his regular expression face with the old school classic traditional Guy bowl haircut. And then here's his second face. This one has the half smirk or smile going on. Typical Guy Gardner. And here's his final screaming face, which looks pretty dumb. And a reminder, every single face can go with either hair sculpt. And here's his final accessory. This is the lantern battery. It's cast in a semi-transparent plastic, which personally I don't agree with. This is not a construct. It's a physical item to recharge their power rings. I guess maybe it's supposed to be glowing with energy as it recharges them. Still, pretty cool accessory to have. Here's a look at Guy Gardner carrying that lantern battery. Now to check out the differences and similarities between the Green Lantern version of Guy Gardner and the Platinum Chase variant. They are 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation. Now, the story is, Guy Gardner was Hal Jordan's backup, and he was never really happy about that. At one point, they had a fight, and the loser lost their Green Lantern ring and powers. Of course, Guy lost, and frustrated without powers, he ended up tricking Lobo into taking him to space, and he found the dead Sinestro's yellow ring. That was before the Sinestro Corp was even invented. He took the ring, and it gave him his powers back. He was sort of a Yellow Lantern for a while, and he operated in what looked like civilian clothing. Eventually, he was returned to the Corps, became a Green Lantern again, but it's kind of an interesting story. He wasn't part of the Sinestro Corps, he wasn't an evil person, he was actually a good guy doing things without the support of the Corps. And that's what the Platinum Chase is, and I think it's a pretty cool idea. So let's take a closer look. So this is how I plan to display the guys. This guy with the bowl cut, because that's how he looked in the 90s when he had this sort of story arc going on. And this is a more modern version. Now, if you really want the classic version with the Green Lantern outfit, you can put the bowl cut in this guy, but it's not exactly accurate. But I'm not too fussy. But I think this is perfect. He'll be my modern core, and he'll be that bowl cut version. And I imagine eventually they'll probably give us a proper classic version like this, but who knows. So the outfit, of course, it's green, and here it's like a leather jacket, has G for Guy Gardner, and the Green Lantern logo. Belts are different color. The gloves are a little bit different. And of course the boots are, he's supposed to have jeans, brown boots, instead of his Green Lantern outfit. And nice attention to detail. They got both the different power rings and the figures the right color. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right at 7 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course it can rotate side to side. He can look up about that far, down that much, not bad. He can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders, a ball joint goes about 90 degrees, up, down, around. He's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate, and it's hinged as well. His torso is pretty much one solid piece. He's got a ball joint in the waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs complete as splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is pretty much non-existent. Legs go forward about that much. Back, not at all. Double jointed knees. And then his ankle. Forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's a look at Guy Gardner floating through space, utilizing his lantern powers. I want to give a huge shout out to my boy, Man Collectibles, for helping me with this thumbnail, and another shout out to my boy, Rudy Lopez, who's also been helping me with a couple thumbnails recently. Much love. Now let's check them out. Next is some other action figures, starting off with some other Guy Gardner and Green Lantern figures. Here's the modern Green Lantern Guy Gardner, next to the 90s Yellow Lantern Guy Gardner. These are the only Guy Gardner figures that I have. I've actually never had one until very recently. No Mattel, no DC Direct, and I've always wanted one, so it's nice to fill in that gap in my collection. Here's Guy Gardner next to a DC Direct Ice. Ice is part of a team, Fire and Ice, and Ice was Guy's love interest for quite a while. Now let's check him out. Next is some other Green Lantern figures. Here's Guy Gardner next to the OG original Green Lantern, Alan Scott. And here he is next to Hal Jordan, both classic and modern. They always sort of had a feud between them. Then, next to John Stewart, both classic and modern. Next, with Kyle Rayner and Simon Baz. And now, with a couple of Batman as Green Lantern figures. Here's Guy Gardner next to some other Green Lantern Corps members. Abin Sur, Toma Ray, Sinestro, Kilowog, Arcus Chumuk, and the Green Man. Here's a look at every McFarlane DC Multiverse Green Lantern. We have quite a few of them so far. I would say Guy Gardner was the biggest omission until now. I'd say next, the biggest omission is Jessica Cruz. Hopefully McFarlane will make her in the future. Here's Guy Gardner Green Lantern, next to all the Yellow Lantern figures they've made. And here he is, next to all the Black Lantern figures. Then, next to the Red Lanterns, Atrocitus and Batrocitus. Here's Guy Gardner next to a Blue Lantern, Kyle Rayner. And here he is next to a White Lantern, Captain Boomerang. And here are all the McFarlane DC Multiverse Lanterns. Yellow Lanterns, Red Lanterns, Blue Lanterns, White Lanterns, Black Lanterns, and Green Lanterns. Here are a bunch of different Green Lantern villains McFarlane has made. So here's the McFarlane Collector's Edition Wave 1. Every single Collector's Edition figure has a Platinum Chase variant. Here are both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the first appearance Superman, the Abyss, and Alan Scott Green Lantern. And here's the second wave of Collector's Edition figures, both regular and Platinum versions of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. Then, the third wave of Collector's Edition figures, we have the Death and Return of Superman, Captain Carrot, Batman as Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. Here's the fourth wave. This wave consisted of Penguin, Starfire, and Captain Boomerang. And here's the fifth wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Sergeant Rock, Connor Kent Superboy, and Manga Batman. Here's the sixth wave of Collector's Edition figures, both versions of the Red Hood, Clock King and Dr. Time, Ragman, and Agent Liberty. And finally, here's the seventh wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Dark Knight Returns Batman, Huntress, and some Green Lantern Corps members. We have Toma Ray, Abin Sur, Arcus Chumuk, and the Green Man. And then here, next to the eighth wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. Finally, I have this wave complete. Both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Lightning Lad, Simon Baz Green Lantern, Geoforce, Grid, Christopher Reeve Superman, and finally Mr. Terrific. It's been a long time coming, but I finally have this wave complete. This wave was unusually large. Usually it's just 3 figures, maybe an exclusive, but this one had 4 figures and 2 different exclusives. The next wave is going to consist of Power Girl, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Captain Cold. Looking forward to those, and looking forward to finding out what the Platinums are going to be. And here's the Collector's Edition Wave 9. Both regular and Platinum Chase variants of Guy Gardner, and the regular versions of Captain Cold and Power Girl. I actually scored the Platinums of those on Big Bad Toy Store today, so I should have them soon. Another wave caught up. Looking for the Batman Begins, Dark Knight Trilogy stuff. Hopefully they'll hit my area soon. Now let's check them out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker and Franklin Murray 2-pack. Here's Guy Gardner, next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Icon. And here he is, next to the Tarte exclusive Gold Label Wildcat and Orion. Then, with the most recent wave of Page Punchers, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Shazam and Captain Thunder, the comic version of the Christopher Reeve Superman, and both versions of the animated Red Hood. And now, with the King Kong vs. Batman 3-pack. Here's Guy Gardner, next to the most recent Batman wave, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Silver Age Batman, the Noel Batman, the Platinum Batman vs. Spawn Batman, and all 3 versions of the Neo-Gothic Batman Beyond Batman. And here he is, next to the Justice League Task Force wave, Aquaman, Flash, Superman, Batman, Collector Build, both the regular and Platinum version of Darkseid. Then, next to the Amazon exclusive Batman that came with the Batglider, and the GameStop exclusive Frostbite Nightwing, and now, with the Amazon exclusive Quarter Valves 3-pack. And finally, next to the most recent Mega figures, the Planet Ron Red Swamp Thing, and the Zack Snyder's Justice League Darkseid. This is the armored one that came with a throne. Now let's check them out. Next is some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want notes lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines that I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Gardner next to a bottle of grapefruit juice, and here he is with some DC Direct and NECA Green Lantern figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a pretty nice Gardner figure. He has a little bit of an issue with the line on his face next to his hairline. The skin tone on his ears doesn't match his face. The line is ugly. And the sort of shape part of his hair is like more orange than the top part. It just looks a little weird. Some very minor adjustments would make a pretty big difference there. Beyond that, the figure is pretty damn good. He is missing the typical torso articulation, and you know what? I'm okay with that. He doesn't really have any construct accessories, and being a collector's figure, he should. Yes, he has a ton of display options. 3 faces, 2 things of hair, so there's 6 different options there. But he should have some kind of a construct. Great, we got a lantern battery. We've had plenty of those before. Personally, I prefer to display this guy as the modern Gardner because that's what the costume is. But I really like the option to have both. If I were to rate this figure, first thought is an 8. Probably going to give him a 7.5 because that stuff on his head and the little line and the ears and the hair, the coloring and the shape part, it looks pretty rough. Probably should bring him down to a 7, but I'm enjoying this guy, so I'm going to land at a 7.5. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.